Oh, creature in the mist. Immortal father and primordial champion. Thou from which all springs. The ineffable light promised by the dark. My carcass be thou altar, and my mind temple thine. O darkest light, supplicate thee. Whisper the next flesh in the cosmos infinity.
Who the fuck are you?
Your friendly neighborhood Peter Pan. Now come along, pussy boy. We're going to Neverland.
But you can't take me. I read the incantation right. I'm in control of you.
Did you ever read the fine print?
The fine print? Oh no. No. How should I have seen that? That's not fair.
Then you should have never called me. Never play with a demon unless you're willing to pay its price. Now, ready, steady. You are going to roll circumference.
Hello friends, hope you had yourself a lovely summer. Now, let's talk season! When I pick an RPG to review, it has to follow one of the three O's. It either has to be old, obscure, or obscene. This one follows 2 out of 3. And, in my humble opinion, this one is probably more cursed than fatal. So ye of little faith beware, for the path onward is a straight descent. The candles are lit, the circle is complete, which means we can start our review of Lamentations of the Flame Princess, the Book of Antitheses. Let us begin. Our descent into madness starts with a note to the reader, which is supposed to seal your soul in one way or another. Don't worry, I've already made my residual twink read it out loud, so they're gonna pay for a journey forward. I am sure they're safe. After that first page, we're introduced to the foreword, which is going to set the tone for the entire book going forward. And all I can say is, holy fucking shit, this is a rabbit hole. Strap yourselves in. This is a doozy. All is ritual, all is play. Those are the exact words that start this chapter, and they're very accurate. You see, prolonging our very existence and way of life is in and of itself a ritual, one that will last us to the day we die. And our lifespan is the testament to our success casting the ritual. Eating 3 times a day, sleeping 8 hours a night. These are the rituals people are recommended to partake in daily. Slip out of it, and you risk getting sick, getting hurt, and eventually die. And thus failing the ritual. Except, not really. All you've really done is reject the main ritual of living and instead chosen another ritualistic path. You sacrificed health and vigor. You gained something else. You gave away what you needed in order to get what you wanted. You gave up your life, your health, your chances, and connections in the life you had been gifted. But you gained that ultimate goal. The desire you held so high to play League of Legends. Congratulations. Now look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself the question. Was it worth it? Of course not. League sucks. Stop being a bitch and stop playing TTRPGs instead. If you're gonna sell your soul to a devil, at least pick a fun one. Speaking of the devil, the author of this book also believes that Gary Gygax, the original creator of Dungeons & Dragons, actually sold his soul in order to make D&D profitable at all. That the reason why he became so religious in his later years was because he wanted God to bail his ass out. Gary had made a deal, and he was afraid to pay up. And according to the author, these were some serious demons he owed debts to. Asmodeus, Beelzebub, Satan, Antichrist are some of the demons he has to pay up to. And then comes the question, how the fuck does the author know this? Well, satanic numerals. The author does this by taking every single letter in the alphabet and gives them a number from 1 to 26. The author then takes the name of the property, in this case Dungeons & Dragons, and spells it out loud with the numbers beneath. He adds the numbers together and gets a value. He is then going to look for an occult name or sentence that has the same value as that property's name, and if there's a match, that means that it's satanic. For example, occult names and sentences that also reach the same value are the Devil's Number, the Mark of the Beast, I Am the Antichrist, Prince of Darkness, Satan Great Deceiver, Beelzebub Asmodeus. And to top it all off, the author used these same satanic numerals to predict who was going to be the 45th president of the United States. And look who showed up. These satanic numerals run deep, but in Dungeons & Dragons, it runs even deeper. To find the beast's mark, you need not look further than the character sheet. Look innocent enough, don't they? Well... checkmate, liberal. Now, I could sit here hours on end and just talk about the anecdotes of this book, but this is a role-playing game, and we're gonna explore how it works. So let's actually see how you play the game. The Book of Antitheses can be played on its own, but it's meant to be a supplement book to already existing campaigns. So if you have a D&D or Pathfinder game already running, you can add this book to the adventure. To do that, you'll need the following things. A journal to keep records of dreams and other vibrations that stem from your magical practice. A clarion, like a small bell or a singing bowl, tuned to the 7th chakra. A focus object to soak up the excess psychophocum. Bet Randy knows about that one.
That was a ghost!
Tarot cards, bones for divination, a pendulum, such as a crystal on a chain or string, a stylus, which can be things like wands or ceremonial daggers, or, like the author puts it himself, exceedingly energetic sticks. And lastly, a true name. There's a concept in the book called Shadow Earth, and the idea is whenever you see the text Shadow Earth, you replace that with the name of your D&D world. So say if you have a name for it, like Toril, you replace Shadow Earth, when you see it in the book, with Toril, because that's the true name of the world that you're playing in, that you're trying to invoke and get yourself put into. Through ritualistic practice, of course. Once you have this, you will start an initiation. In this initiation, you're going to summon an actual demon. This demon is going to be bound to your game, and it's called the Creature of the Mist. The thing that Twink read out in the beginning? Yep, that's this. And the moment you read it out, congratulations, you're a magician. No, I'm not kidding, it says so. And we can then begin your astral travel. To do this, you need to first silence your inner angel, because it's probably telling you right now that you're fucking stupid. You will then start to meditate over an existing place within your D&D world. This place is supposed to be on top of a mountain inside of a forest. Once you've made your way up the mountain, you are going to go down into the temple and start talking to the demon who lurks within. This demon is the Creature in the Mist. I don't know how that will look like, but I imagine something like this.
What do I do, Lord?
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
Once this is done, you are ready. Light your candle and or incense and get yourself ready to go into your world. The demon can now speak to you through your soul, although you'll probably need a translator because you don't speak Infernal, do you? Unless you're talking to Scarbrand. That's pretty simple. The previous ritual we looked at was for you to basically prep for the game. The next ritual is a binding ritual that allows you to tether everyone else to your world. To do this, grab your focus object, grab your clarion, and sit down in a circle. Everyone closes their eyes and you start ringing the damn bell. You're going to strike the bell 11 times whilst everyone's eyes are closed, and you are going to then recite the binding call. It should sound something like this.
Oh, Crusell,
O Simgis, O Mafim, hear and answer our call. Next up is divinations. You're going to need bones to do this one. Not necessarily these ones, but I'll explain. You can use substitutes that the author recommends, common day items like coins, cowrie shells, and alligator feet, or you can do what the actual author did, and I will cite this directly. I once had a bottle cap roll across the ground and bounce off my shoe. I kicked it away where it was picked up by the wind and thrown back at my shoe. I immediately scooped it up and added it to my collection. Heed omens, synchronicities, and events outside the ordinary. Oh, we're about to get to one. While walking on the beach in Hawaii with my youngest daughter, we came upon a man with a metal detector that had excavated the head of a human corpse buried beneath the sand. As the police cordoned off the area, I spotted several extremely energetic pieces of coral, beach glass, and lava rocks strewn across the shore nearby. My daughter and I quickly collected as many of these bones as we could before being shooed off. The author took shit from a potential crime scene because his Jedi senses were tingling. Ceremonial dice magic is also something that the author talks about. I'm not going to cover it too much because it's quite silly, but what the author does say is that every time you put a character on a character sheet, what you're basically doing is summoning a demon. You've summoned it and put it to paper, and the stronger the character, the stronger the demon you've invoked. Wait a minute. I rolled a character recently. How strong was that one? Oh no. The world building in this game is pretty straightforward. No matter your magical background, you are going to be magically transported into the fantastical world of 17th century Germany during the 30-year war in the city of Hanau. You get to experience Hanau during an unforgettable time period, rife with anti-Semitism, loads of torture, and horrible demonic possessions. All free of charge. But what won't be free of charge is you exchanging your currency. Your fantasy currency is not gonna do well here. You're going to need to exchange it, and you can only do so with the Jews. Engross yourself with the locals and visit places such as the Town Hall, the suburbs, the mills, the pleasure gardens, Old Town, Jews Alley, or Stenheim Port. It is in this chapter that you will learn about the adventuring plot, where you will learn about what you need to do to save this city. And I'm not gonna say what it is yet, but I'm gonna ask you the question. Do you think you'll be surprised? The quest is being handed out to you and played out before you by 9 NPCs. These NPCs are personas that you are going to possess your miniatures with. In no particular order, these people are: possessed child, who's also a 3rd level fighter, a worried father who blames a dwarf for his daughter's possession, mostly because he plays really terrible pipe music. The filthy peasant masses, a witch with neo-pronouns, the devil himself with one hell of a stat line, a mute dwarf named Minimus who appears outside of your house to play really shitty music at night until the child in the household disappears and never returns. While he's considered jovial and jester-like, he's actually now Herald of Satan, who will cut at your ankles with a razor. The Jew, a 7th level rabbi who can summon golems and throw spells at you, whilst also selling you grimoires for really competitive prices. He's slow to trust outsiders, so the way to gain his trust is to trade with him continuously or have your player characters convert to Judaism. But one person who will not like that is the Archbishop. Wilhelm is really pissed off at seeing the rise of witchcraft in the city, and while he doesn't speak his opinion out loud in fear of the Count, the city's problems and the rise of witchcraft is all to be blamed on the Jews. The Archbishop believes that God has turned his back on Hanau due to the Jewish presence, which has allowed witchcraft to take root and plague the city. Furthermore, he believes the Antichrist has risen and that he is a Jew. And Wilhelm is so furious that he has started practicing black magic from a secret altar down concealed in the Altstadt. And through his familiar, a spider monkey named Jogo, the priest seeks the Book of Antitheses, which he intends to employ in his war on the unholy. The priest lowered himself to worship Satan so he could get rid of the Jews. To this end, the Archbishop will use any subtlety at his disposal to implicate them, wherever, whenever, including forgery and planting evidence. And the only one standing in the way of the Mad Bishop is the Count. The Count will fiercely protect the Jewish community in Hanau, not because he values human life, but because they give him a lot of money. As you can tell, none of these characters are very good. Neither city life or the very quest you're about to embark on, and I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm just going to say it gets really, really fucking weird. So with all this being said, is there anything more that can surprise us and tell us more about the evil world in which we are going to play in? That would be the monsters, of which I'm only going to mention a few, so be wary and be worried when you face Blemia, bloodworms, sodomy nuns, hell crabs, pregnant cannibal children, and the most diabolical of all, poor people. I know, it makes me shiver just saying the word, so much so that I don't dare to continue. I have been broken yet again by the unwashed masses. Conclusions. This book is fucking cursed. I don't know what to make of it. It's just really weird. But it's an interesting read. It just gets you captivated by the sheer absurdity of the things that are in it, the weird way it's written, the ritual practices that it makes you do, and combined with the absolutely insane art, it's just a unique piece of work in and of itself. I don't know if I can recommend it, but if you found it interesting, you can buy it online. It is still fairly new and can be accessed. It contains a lot of information that I didn't bring up here, and a lot of anecdotes about the author's own experience growing up with TTRPGs. Also, a thanks to my twink for helping me out. Cheers, bud. Whew, alright. Time to be off again. I hope to make some more videos before New Year's, but I don't know how things are looking. I've been very busy with studies and stuff along the line, and I just kinda do this on the side whenever I got time. It's still fun to do, so I'm gonna keep being around. And if you like this video, well, be sure to leave a like and share the video around. It does always help. Alright. See you guys later.
Hello.
Hey, you got this book too because the author's demons picked you to review it. How do you feel knowing that the devil's a shitposter?
I mean, I do hate the Antichrist and all. However, based, that's what I have to say about it.
It's kind of based. Wait,
Based on what?
What are you talking about? yeah.
Based on what? Based on what? The Antichrist!